First of all, like, credit to Phoenix. That's a really good team. That's a fun basketball game. Like, back and forth, high scoring. Guys on both teams. We'll wait. Game ended 20 minutes ago. Guys on both teams, making big-time plays down the stretch, back and forth. Really proud of the energy that our team played with tonight. I think it showed just the pace we played with, not only in transition but in the half court, moving the ball, moving our bodies. We were able to execute some stuff down the stretch very well. Lowry had his career high tonight, 38. Really came through for us. Mike, Jordan, Jeremy, everybody that played in the game contributed. Another very good team win, and it was great. The energy from the crowd tonight was unbelievable. I've been in a lot of playoff games, and that one had the audio of a playoff game there coming down the stretch. So credit to them as well. Fun night.
Does Lowry's ability to move off ball seem unique for his size?
Yeah, it probably doesn't match the package that it comes in, I guess. Like, you look at him and you wouldn't assume that he's that mobile and that nimble. Like, his footwork, it's not just like the speed straight line, it's his footwork in tight spaces and ability to change direction. His vertical athleticism is very good. Like, he's been just as impressive as an athlete, not being around him before, as he has a basketball player.
You went with Malik Beasley down the stretch there, and obviously he had a very good game. What does he bring, and why did you choose to do that? Yeah,
I thought, Malik was having a very good night. His spacing, his ability, to get shots off in tight windows against a long, athletic defensive team like that, I thought was something that we were going to need down the stretch. I felt like we were going to be, in our execution part of the game, we were going to have the ball with Mike and JC and Lowry, and I thought that Malik's spacing was going to be critical for us, and he did a wonderful job all night. Hit a lot of big shots.
When you said early in training camp that you wanted to get guys into the best shape that they've been in, was it this kind of game that you were anticipating needing that for? Because it seemed like, even though the pace was crazy, the energy just kind of remained high throughout.
Yeah, I think it's, when you look at your team and you're trying to figure out what your advantages could be, I felt like fitness was something that we could control to a degree, and we wanted to make sure that we took care of all the things that we thought we could control. And a credit to the guys, like, they really bought into it in camp. They went really, really hard at practice, and, didn't ever complain, even when some practices maybe went longer than they expected, or there was extra conditioning stuff at the end. But they knew that it was going to be a big part of our identity, not only playing more players, but trying to keep the tempo of the game up with our ball movement and body movement. So I think it definitely showed up tonight down the stretch.
Phoenix had quite a few offensive boards down the stretch there. Did you think about having Walker in there to help with the rebounding down the stretch, or were you just feeling like you had an advantage with the small lineup? Yeah,
I thought the small lineup was our best chance to win the game. I thought Devin Booker, who's an unbelievable player, he really had his way against the drop tonight, and I didn't think down the stretch I wanted to show him any more drop. Walker does so many things well for our team, but right now switching is not something that he's doing a lot of. So I just felt like down the stretch the small lineup was going to be our best opportunity.
You mentioned Booker. What do you think allowed Phoenix to get back into this game the way they did in the second half?
It was an 8-point game at halftime, and I think that our turnovers in the second half didn't help us. We had some decision-making in transition that wasn't very good. Like, we had the advantage in transition a couple times that ended up in dunks for them going the other way. And it just, there's moments in the game where the momentum can really shift and you can sort of blow a game open, and we didn't capitalize on those very well. But that also just shows, Phoenix is a very well-coached team. They've been in the finals. That group has been together for a while, like tight games. They don't flinch, from Monty down through all the players. They've been in a lot of close games, and they know how to execute and stay alive. So we knew at halftime that they were going to come out with a lot of energy, and they were not going to go away. And I felt like our decision-making, especially in transition, did not help us in the second half.
Have you seen Mike get that fired up yet, or was that the first time?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm not sure I've seen Mike yell yet, but he's really competitive. I think you guys all know that. You've been around Mike longer than I have, but he's really, really competitive, although not always super vocal. But he's the leader of our group, and those moments, the team rallies around him, and I thought the crowd rallied around him to see Mike get that fired up. Big plays, digging out rebounds. He had a block shot that was huge, hit some big shots, as usual, making, very good decisions for our team. So really happy for him. Maybe we need more yelling.
Just kind of big picture, how does it make you feel as a coach to see Lowry being able to excel in a role that's exceeded pretty much all of the roles that he's had in his career?
Yeah, it's fun to watch. I don't know what the ceiling is on Lowry. I don't think any of us do, but I'm pretty sure we haven't seen it yet based on what we're watching night in and night out. He works really, really hard on his game. It's not just, what he's doing in the game, like the work that he puts in. You guys see him some at practice. In practice, post-practice is really diligent, very detailed. He's a wonderful guy, and I'm just really happy for him because I think, he wants to be good, and this is the third team he's played on, and I think he's feeling comfortable with our group, and we need him. He knows that. Like, it's not just me that's empowering Lowry. His teammates, they know how good he is and how good he can be. So, they're probably empowering him more than I am.
This is one of Jared's kind of high assist games, and he kind of operates out of that handoff role up the top. But kind of what are the keys to success in that role, and why is he making kind of good decisions at that spot?
Yeah, it's when a big like Ayton is guarding you, we're going to try to move Jared around a good amount in some different spots. And he knows that not only is he a cutter, but there's times when Ayton goes to help that he has to be a sort of a pressure release for us. So it's a little bit like playing tight end, in football. You have to find the dead area in the defense and be a safety valve for us. And he does a really good job of going from that spot, catching the ball, to recognizing where he needs to go next with it. He's so quick with his movements, like he's able to get from one thing to the next very, very quickly. The role that he's in is not easy because he's moved around a lot, and he has to read the defense as well as what we're executing on offense. Like, he has a lot of decisions that he's making, even though he doesn't always have the ball. And he's doing a great job for us. Like, we ask Mento to do a lot. We ask him to guard some of the best players in the NBA. We ask him to offensive rebound. We ask him to push the ball in transition. We ask him to find the dead area in the defense. He's doing a great job for us. And, he knows that's what we need from him every single night. And, we've talked about every guy on this team just playing to their strengths and bringing something to the party. And Jared's been huge for us.
We good?
Thanks, guys.
Look at this.
Who's going to Portland? What? Who's going to Portland?
Me and Eric.
See you guys there.